Robert and the Vulture, a real story. Robert was an old man. He was a happy man. He was a generous man who believed that things should be done the way they should be done. Robert was married with Lucy, and they were very happy together. Robert was a doctor, and he was a very special kind of doctor. He was the kind of doctor who brings people into the world. And for many years, Robert had brought many people into the world to do whatever they were supposed to do. Robert was also a man of many thoughts. He liked to read, and he used to read a lot. Most of his life he read a lot, and he believed in some of the things he read. However, as Robert grew older, he stopped believing the things, and he started questioning everything, and he started questioning even if the things that he believed before were true. He used to be a communist, and now as the wall fell, he couldn't be a communist anymore. And he couldn't understand how things he believed his whole life were not existing anymore. So Robert stopped believing. And one of the things Robert didn't believe anymore was in God. But Robert understood that everything had a goal in life. Robert lived with his family in his beautiful house in the woods. And one day when Robert came home, he found a vulture. And the vulture was in the backyard. He was sick. He was very weak. But Robert, knowing that the vulture also had to fulfill his duty in society, also had to do whatever he was supposed to do in the world, decided to take care of the vulture. And he fed the vulture with the best meat he could buy for the vulture. And he took care of the vulture, bringing medicine and using all of his medical skills to make the vulture be back into health and be able to do whatever he was supposed to do. Robert's dogs didn't like the vulture too much. They didn't know which kind of beast was that. It wasn't part of their family, so they decided to come and check out the vulture. The vulture was weak, but the vulture put a good fight against them and showed them, "I'm not here to play with you." And then the dogs decided to leave the vulture in peace. 10 days had passed. 2 weeks had passed. And then the vulture was finally strong and healthy and ready to go back to nature and do whatever he was supposed to do. And one day, without nobody expecting, the vulture stretched his wings and then he flew away to do whatever he was supposed to do. On that day, Robert came back home, and then Lucy told him that the vulture had just gone, and Robert was sad. He was happy because the vulture was well and he was back to do whatever he was supposed to do. But now Robert didn't have the vulture anymore, and Robert didn't know what he was supposed to do. And then Robert started thinking about the vulture, and whatever the vulture was doing, he was flying in freedom, accomplishing whatever he was supposed to do, but Robert was there, stuck without knowing what he was supposed to do. And then Robert kept thinking, how can I be like the vulture? How can I be free like the vulture and not imprisoned in my own thoughts, in my own unbelief about everything? Everyone has a part to play in life, and Robert knew this. Even though Robert was enslaved to his lack of believing anything else, but he knew everybody has a part to play in life. The only thing Robert needed was to know which part he was to play in life. Are you playing your part in life? Do you know what is your part to play in life? And you know how you will find your part to play in life? If you believe. The only thing you need to do is to believe. Believe there is a God who created you and who created you to play an important part in life. There is a God who created you For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them.